AppleCare Protection Plan is an additional package that will prolong your existing warranty periods from 1 year up to 3 years. But in order to get the most out of AppleCare Protection Plan, you have to know these techniques. Firstly, please kindly allow me to explain to you briefly about how to get the most out of your new Mac in good condition. When you first bought your Macs, you have 7 days, okay, to make sure that it doesn't have any defectiveness from the factory. Within the first 7 days, in some country, you can even have your money back or you can change for a new Mac. But after 7 days, you will get nothing. If anything goes wrong, your Mac will be sending through the procedures of technical departments and lots of regulations and everything. You have to be aware of this. So I'm going to give you 10 principles of how to get the most out of your AppleCare. Number 1, you should buy all the Apple products together in one receipt. This is a hidden secret that few people are aware of this. If you buy a Mac Pros, if you buy a Mac Pros with the Apple Cinema display, or if you buy the Mac Mini with the Apple Cinema display, even though you just bought the AppleCare for the Mac Mini or Mac Pro, but the additional Cinema display will be covered by the AppleCare also. If you buy the Mac Mini with AirPod Express, one Magic Mouse, and one wireless keyboards from Mac, all of these devices will be covered, but you have to buy them at the same time in one receipt. That's the secret. Number 2, if you buy any desktop from Apple, in some country, please kindly check because they do on-site service. In general, it's supposed to be within the range of 50 kilometers from the retail store to your house. That's the secret. So if you want to buy a Mac, you buy a Mac from the store that's really near to you, the nearest one that gets close to your neighborhood. And then you will get the most of your AppleCare, especially iMac 27-inch and Mac Pro because they are very heavy. In order to get on-site service, you have to call the Apple hotline. And any of those telephone numbers, they are written inside the small tiny user manual instructions in the package. And most of them are free to call. And thirdly, this is another secret. Apple told you that if you buy the AppleCare Protection Plan, apart from longer hardware coverage, we will get longer award-winning team for telephone technical support. But actually, the thing is, even though you didn't buy the AppleCare policy, you still get lifetime service from that award-winning team for telephone technical support. Because for the sake of manner, they don't usually ask you, "Sir, did you buy the AppleCare or I won't talk to you?" Nobody do that, so you don't have to worry about that. Number 4, Apple allow you to rethink and reconsider your final decision to buy the AppleCare for 1 year from the original purchase date. But first, lots of people they tend to forget to buy the AppleCare. And secondly, AppleCare Protection Plan is like a package. So even though you have money, but if you go to the Apple store but they don't have the AppleCare packages available, you can't buy it. So I would suggest you should buy the AppleCare Protection Plan from the original purchase date at the same time as when you were buying your machine. Okay, so you have to buy the AppleCare Protection Plan with the machine at the same time. Because firstly, a lot of the store tends to give you some discount up to 10%. Okay, and secondly, in most cases, most Apple stores in the world tend to register for the AppleCare for the customers. Okay, and you don't have to worry because eventually you have to come back to buy the AppleCare because Apple, they don't fix anything. They change the whole thing. I have seen a number of things in my life. I have seen one customer, he threw a MacBook Pro 15-inch, throw it into the streets of Bangkok during the daytime because he was angry because he wasn't aware of the cost of the new motherboards that might cost you even more than buying a new Mac, because at the time we had to order from their warehouse in Singapore. So in most cases, Apple parts are quite expensive without a warranty. Okay, and the thing is, there are two different ways to buy the AppleCare protection plan. First, you can buy it from the Apple retail store, and secondly, there are a number of websites. If you type in Google about the AppleCare, there might be a number of websites that might be able to give you better price for the AppleCare policies, but you won't get the package. So firstly, you miss the user manual instruction, which contain all the toll-free numbers throughout the world, and secondly, you won't get the CD. The CD contains one of the greatest applications in the world. It's called Text to the Looks, allowed to check all your maps. It will report to you about all the bugs and fix all the things. It's going to report to you all the broken things in your Macs without going to the technician. Because I had a customers who bought his AppleCare serial numbers from a website, and then he registered that, okay, and it passed. But about a week later on, Apple sent him letters to apologize that this serial number has been used in United Kingdom about a month ago, and no one would take the responsibility. So he has lost his money, and the warranty had expired, so he can buy the AppleCare protection plan again. So I would suggest you should buy the AppleCare protection plan at the same time as the machine in one receipt. Because if something happened, you still have the receipt to show them that, okay, you just bought the AppleCare protection plan with that. And number 6, to be perfectly honest, to inform you that whether you're going to believe me or not, any Mac stores, we don't work on commission, honestly. Okay? But for the AppleCare protection plan, it's something else. All the Apple Store salesperson in the world earn extra commission from selling AppleCares. So that's some small tiny secrets for me, my little things for you. And you have to understand one thing, that there is a misconception that people kept asking me millions of times. If you have an iPod, if you have an iPhone, and you buy the AppleCare protection plan for iPod or iPhone, you get another 1 year. But these types of warranties, sometimes, not every time, sometimes they tend to be quite useless, because when you dropped it, when you break the glass of the front panels, when you pour any liquid onto that, these types of damages will not be covered by the AppleCare because they have been caused by accident. Okay, and secondly, lots of people they are not aware of one thing, that even though Apple gives you as a new iPod or a new iPhone, those are not a brand new one. We call that refurbished. What exactly is refurbished? Refurbished is an iPhone or iPod that contain several parts from several machines. Like I have one machine with a broken screen but good motherboard, and I have another one with a broken motherboard and good screen. So I pull the screen from another one and one motherboard mixed in together. We call this refurbished. So don't be glad to, if Apple gonna give you something new, then okay, I'm gonna get a new iPod. No, that's not a new one. It's called refurbished one. Okay, so I would suggest, well, you may not believe me, but if you don't have tons of money, if you're not rich, you don't really have to buy an AppleCare protection plan for iPhone or iPod. Okay, but I would suggest to buy the AppleCare for your portable Macs, like MacBooks or MacBook Pros or MacBook Air. Okay, and that's the thing. Number 8, the warranty will not cover any damages caused by accident. Okay, caused by accident. I have to reiterate this one more time because this is very important. This is very, very important. So if you drop your mat, if you stamp on it, if you pour any liquid onto your mat, it won't be covered. Number 9, about the batteries. Apple said the battery will not be covered by the AppleCare, it will be covered only 1 year maximum. But the thing is, after 1 year, you still can get the battery changed also. Okay, you still can get the battery changed also, but they have to check your recycling count. Like if you buy a new Mac, every Mac comes with, in 2011 you get one 4-cell lithium polymer batteries that last up to 10 hours or 8 or 5 hours on single charge, and most of them can goes up to 1000 cycling counts. So for instance, you've been using it for 1.5 years, but you have charged only 100. Apple might change the battery for you. And lastly, you know what? Number 10. This is the most important things that I really want to communicate with you today from my true experience, because I know what I'm talking about. The thing is, all things possible, but you have to talk to the right person. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Let me share with you one of my greatest stories that I really love the story so much. One of my clients bought the iMac 27-inch last year, and he got some sort of dust or some dead animals, some insects got under behind the front panel. And then he took his 27-inch Mac to the retail store, one of the service center. And the retail store said, well, for this kind of conditions, I think this Mac has been used in a very dusty environment. And he was denied and rejected. But at the time, he didn't give up. He called me, and then I tried to talk to Mac store in Singapore. And I asked him to change service center and to go to another service center. Okay, and he talked to the manager. He asked me to talk to the guy from Singapore as the sales representative, because if you call the Apple online, at first, let me give you the procedure. When you call the Apple hotline, first you have to talk to the someone called reception or representative, and then they might refer to you to engineers or technicians or managers, shift managers. Okay, you know what? This guy, even just regular representative, they have the right to void or cancel the price for that certain broken parts. But it's depending on how hard that you want to fight with them. If you don't take no for an answer, if you're aggressive enough, you might be the winner. So that's life. If this service center might refuse to fix or solve your problems, you go to another service centers, talk to the manager of the store, talk to the salesperson, call them, talk to someone, keep doing the things non-stop. All things possible. I have seen miracle happen in Apple business. I have seen my client pour us peanut jam. Okay, my client pour a peanut jams into a Mac. Let me show you something. I got a peanut jam like this pour into the keyboard. Pour into the keyboard, but he had his keyboard changed by Apple for some reason. So things can happen depending on whom did you talk to, whom you're gonna deal with. So that's the thing. So all things possible in the world. Thanks for watching.